A 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar and Thailand. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Friday, March 28th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. A powerful earthquake hit near Mandalay today, early in the afternoon local time. That's the second most populous city in the Southeast Asian country of Myanmar. Images and videos posted on social media showed a collapsed bridge and cracked roads. The quake and its aftershocks also rattled Thailand. Its capital, Bangkok, is more than 600 miles away from the epicenter, but the earthquake was powerful enough to cause a high-rise building under construction to collapse. Here's the moment it happened, captured on video by a bystander. Bangkok's governor said several dozen workers were trapped in the building collapse. This is a breaking news story this morning, and it's not immediately clear how many people have been killed or injured. You can follow the latest updates on our homepage. Number 2 is a Washington Post exclusive. An internal White House document detailed plans for layoffs across federal agencies. A document obtained by the Post revealed plans to cut between 8 and 50% of staff at 22 agencies. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, the IRS, and the Interior Department were targeted for big cuts. These figures have not been released to the public, and a White House official said the document wasn't up to date. But it still indicates that broad staff cuts are likely to have a significant impact on the scope of the government's work. And it shows what could come next in the Trump administration's push to shrink the federal government. That effort has been spearheaded by billionaire Elon Musk and his U.S. Doge service. Musk defended his sweeping cuts to the government on Fox News yesterday.
Well, this is a revolution, and I think it might be the biggest revolution in government since the original revolution. But at the end of the day, America is going to be in much better shape. America will be solvent. The critical programs that people depend upon will work, and it's going to be a fantastic future. But are we going to get a lot of complaints along the way? Absolutely.
Also yesterday, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced huge cuts to health agencies. The FDA and the CDC will see their headcount shrink by the thousands. Vice President J.D. Vance will make a controversial visit to Greenland today. That's number 3. Since President Trump returned to office in January, he has been threatening to make Greenland part of the United States. Details on how exactly he intends to do that have been scarce, but the president has argued that Greenland is vital to U.S. national security. His threats to acquire the island have angered officials in Greenland and in Denmark, which owns the island. They say it is not for sale. So that is the controversial backdrop for today's visit. The vice president and his wife, Usha Vance, will tour an isolated U.S. space base. That base is there to defend America against ballistic missile attacks. The visit was scaled back from the original plan, in which the Second Lady was going to take in the cultural sites of Greenland and attend a dog sled race. Greenland officials were irked that the initial plan was made without consulting them. But dogs or no dogs, it's sure to be an interesting trip. Check out our homepage throughout the day for updates. Number 4. Affordable compact cars could be the first to get more expensive thanks to Trump's tariffs. On Wednesday, the president announced that he wants to impose a 25% tariff on imported cars and parts. His theory is that a trade war might boost manufacturing jobs in the U.S. in the long run. But in the short term, you're almost certainly going to see an increase in prices after the new tariff comes into effect next week. It's unclear exactly how and when prices will start ticking up. But brands like Lexus, Toyota, Honda, and Subaru are likely to be among the first to face higher costs. That's because they only have small stockpiles of their vehicles already in the U.S. One analyst said he expects an average markup of $6,000 per car. If you were planning to buy a car anytime soon, you have some thinking to do. But our personal finance columnist Michelle Singletary is here to help. In our newsletter today, you can find her column on whether you should delay your purchase. Earth's soil is drying up. That's our fifth story. A new study published yesterday revealed a troubling finding. The amount of water stored on lands across the planet's continents has declined at such staggering levels that the changes are likely irreversible, at least while humans are alive. The losses in soil moisture are mainly driven by changes in precipitation patterns, and the atmosphere has more drying power because of rising temperatures from climate change. The drier soil already poses issues for farming, irrigation, and water resources for humans. But the new research shows it's also contributing more than was previously thought to rising sea levels. And the changing distribution of water around the world is even affecting the way the Earth rotates. Number 6. March Madness is back in full swing this weekend. Last night was the first 4 games of the Sweet 16 in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. The night got underway with Alabama racing BYU off the floor in a hail of three-pointers to advance to the Elite Eight. Florida topped Maryland. Tournament favorite Duke got 30 points from Cooper Flagg to fend off Arizona. And in the nightcap, Texas Tech stormed back from a 16-point second-half deficit and ousted Arkansas in overtime.
Final seconds. Wagner with it. Driving on Hawkins. Firing off. Texas Tech has won.
Tonight, the men's tournament wraps up the Sweet 16, and the women's gets underway. By Sunday night, we'll know who's in the men's Final Four. You can find updated brackets on our website. And at number 7, some of you might get to see a partial solar eclipse tomorrow. First things first, this is not as exciting as a total eclipse of the sun. But the US isn't seeing another one of those until 2044. So in the meantime, you can take what you're given, and that is a partial eclipse. Tomorrow morning, the moon will cover up to 93.6% of the sun. That will make the sun look like a rising crescent. The eclipse will be visible in the northeastern U.S. and in Canada. Northern Maine will see the most sun coverage in the U.S. at about 86%. If you're a diehard partial solar eclipse fan, you'll have to make it all the way up to remote, far northern parts of Canada. But wherever you look at it, don't forget to wear eclipse glasses. And don't take them off for a peek. In a partial eclipse, there's no moment of totality in which it would be safe to do so. So stay safe out there, and see you in 2044 for the real deal. That's the show for this week. The associate producer of The 7 is Taylor White. The staff writers are Jamie Ross and me. John Taylor is our editor. Additional editing by Christina Quinn. Special thanks this week to Rennie Svirnovsky. Copy editing by Melissa No and Thomas Haliba. Mixing and sound design is by Jim Briggs and Justin Garish. Our theme music is by Edith Mudge. Renita Jablonski is our director of audio. I'm Hannah Jewell. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend. I'll meet you back here on Monday.
I'm Sally Jenkins, and I'm a sports columnist and feature writer for The Washington Post. My job entails pulling the curtain on really big sports events at what is going on in locker rooms, what's going on in the stadium tunnel, most importantly, what's going on in the minds of the athletes that I cover. I think that we have an instinct that sports are really important in some primal way. We pay a lot of money for them. We build really big stadiums for them. And I think that athletics really gets us in touch with aspiration and teach something very, very important about accountability, about self-determination. And so my job is to really make those links explicit for readers and users. Subscriptions support this work and the people behind it. Find out more at subscribe.washingtonpost.com. I'm Sally Jenkins, and I'm one of the people behind The Post.